For the peer review process, basically you're going to want to go to the NYSEJ webpage and click on peer review. And then the password for this page is going to just be review.
Okay.
But basically what you're going to do is every time you complete a competition, you are going to go in and you're going to submit a review for each one of the people that judged on your panel. But there's some questions that will apply that you were able to observe and you can rate on, and then there'll be questions that you weren't able to observe, and so you would just click NA for anything that you did not directly observe. So if you have anybody on your panel that's from a different association, you want to make sure that you are actually going into their association's link. So like if I'm in section 5 doing a competition, but we happen to have a judge from section 6 that is doing the competition with us, I would use the section 5 link for the judges that are from section 5, and then I would go back in and do the section 6 link for that judge. Because you'll notice that when you go in, you can only pick people's names that are within that association. If there's anybody that has dual certificate or dual associations, I put their name into their primary association. So just to show you what it looks like, if I go into this one, I would suggest that for the most part, to make this easy on yourself, I would take the association you're typically in, and I would save this as a favorite on your phone. So as soon as you're done judging, you can just go on your phone and click on the link and fill it out. And I'm just gonna show you an example, and I'll go and delete it later. So I just go in and I choose the first judge that I was working with, the section they're from, and I type in the name of the competition, and then anything that you can directly observe. So this one applies the NFHS rules. So let's say I was a cheer judge that day, and this particular person was a stunt judge. I may not have observed anything that they did. So in that case, I'm going to select NA. Same thing with this one, I didn't observe them. If you did observe them, so maybe I'm safety and I sat there and I watched people do these things, and so I could observe these elements, then I would give them a score, 3 being the top score, 1 being the bottom score. And then there are questions on here though that you should be able to observe. So things like this question here, were they on time, were they professional, were they dressed appropriately? And then usually this one you can also tell, you know, if you had a group that was slow the whole time, then you would know that, or if they were judging at a good pace, then you know that as well. And then if by chance you give a 1 or, well, first of all, if you give a score of 1 in anything, you are required to comment on here so that that person can get some feedback. And, you know, if you have any other things that you think would help them, then you can also put that in the comments, and then you just click submit. When you do that, you'll see there's another button here for you to immediately click on so that you can go in and do the next person on your that was on your panel. If there are 2 different panels at a competition, you're only rating the people on your particular panel. Before I go into how to actually manage the page, does anyone have any questions?
I have.
Let me just bring this back up. Is there somebody that has a question?
I have a question.
Is this a representative?
Yeah, I think you muted yourself again.
I did. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm recognizing Gail. And remember, guys, I know that this is very formal, but you have to, you know, request from Madam Chairperson or Madam President if you have a question.
Madam Chairperson, may I ask a question?
Yes, Gail, you may.
What is the time limit, the frame in which we have to respond to this?
So we are asking that this be done within 48 hours of the competition. So that way the person monitoring this can let people know if anyone is not submitting.
Thank you.
Any other questions that would like to be recognized? Okay. So for those of you that are going to be managing your association's results, you are going to be sent a link to a form that you will have the ability to edit, and it looks like this. So there's a couple of things that you want to be aware of with this is, first of all, you're going to want to make sure that everyone is getting reviewed. So obviously this is anonymous, so you're not going to be able to really tell, but what you can do is if you'll notice that someone's missing, you can actually just email everybody that was on the panel and just remind them, you know, if you didn't submit, please go through and do your submissions. So one of the ways that I would suggest for managing this, first of all, so you'll notice that this is all from a single competition, but people put in different names for the competition. So it's probably a good idea to first of all go through and you can order these up at the top. If you click here, you can sort from A to Z under name of competition. And then I would go through and just take one of the names and copy that and then paste it into the others just so everything under that competition is named the same. So that will be one way to help keep some consistency. Nope. Gotta do it that way. Nope. Okay. The next thing that you're going to want to do is actually sort these by the names. So this will help to put everyone together when, especially at the end of the season when you're done. So again, you're just going to click on the name of the official and you're going to sort from A to Z. So this puts all of those officials together. And then you can, once you put those in the right order, now you're able to see if you have any comments, then you can look for any sort of patterns that are emerging or anything that you and if you have an education committee or your board that's dealing with this, can work with the official on that. But one of the things you're going to want to do is you'll notice if you go to the bottom of the submission. So this will keep moving down, but at the very bottom, you'll see that there is a formula here. So what you're going to do is you are going to copy this formula. And then anytime there are submissions, you'll go in and just paste that formula into this average column for all of the submissions. So, and it will automatically populate. It will automatically ignore these NA or unobserved, so it's not going to count in the average for those. We did a specific formula that gets rid of that. And then let's say it's the end of the year and you're ready to figure out that each of your particular judges' final averages. So in this final column K, it explains how to do that and gives you the formula for that. So it explains first you're going to sort A to Z, and then in this last column, you're going to enter in, so I first want to make sure where's my last line for that particular official. So let's say I'm doing Stephanie. I'm going to go to her last line, and you only need to do this at the very end of the season, but I'm just going to demonstrate. So you're going to hit equals, average, you select average, and then you need to select the columns that apply to Stephanie. So that would be this one, and I can just click on that and select all the way down to her last one. And then if you either hit enter or you can also close off the parentheses, either one will work. And then it'll give that average there for that particular judge. So you'll go through and do that for each one of your judges at the end of the season, and it'll give you their final average for the year. This year, we're just collecting data. But next year, I believe that there will be a deadline probably midway through the season before people have to submit their applications to the state, because we'll need to have these numbers in order for people to determine if they're actually eligible to submit applications to judge at states. So we'll let you guys know next year